Imagine having a personal assistant, a business coach, a therapist, an accountability partner, a workout planner, a chef, a creative muse, all in one. And no, I'm not talking about hiring a full team of experts. I'm talking about ChatGPT, your personal one-stop shop. If you're a busy business owner with a million tabs open in your brain and on your screen, juggling clients, content, personal goals, your health, and your creativity, then this video is about to be a secret weapon because I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to 10x your life and your business. Hi, I'm Jasmine. I've been in marketing for over 12 years and I run a marketing agency helping service-based business owners turn strangers into clients using behavioral psychology, ads, systems, and funnels that actually work. This video is part of my ultimate free business course series where I teach you how to build a business from scratch, a business that's not just profitable, but also sustainable and aligned with your goals and the way that you want to live your life. You can check out all of the other videos in this series where I teach you exactly how to get your first clients, how to build a profitable funnel, and how to write copy that actually converts. I will link them all in the description below. Here's the thing. You don't want to work harder. You want to work smarter. And with the rise of AI, we have all the tools that we need to free up more of our time and get more done readily available at our fingertips. And one of those tools is, of course, ChatGPT. But the problem is that ChatGPT is a mirror to the person using it. And most people simply aren't aware that it can only ever be as good as the inputs that they're feeding it, which is why most people are using ChatGPT completely wrong. They're treating it like some sort of magical thing where they expect it to just write their next viral post without giving it any context or any direction. So it's no wonder they're not happy with the results that they're getting. But when you know how to train GPT, just like a team member, and plug it into your business and into your routines and processes properly, you literally 10x every single area in your life and in your business. And in this video, I'm showing you exactly how to do that. I'll show you exactly how I personally use ChatGPT as my all-in-one assistant to get more done and work smarter and not harder in my business, but also across other areas of my life as well: health, creativity, and even personal growth. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use ChatGPT to stay on top of every single thing that you need to get done in your business, how to streamline client delivery and content creation without burning out, how to schedule your weekly tasks based on your cycle and your personal energy type, and how to move and nourish your body the right way to achieve your health and fitness goals, and how to support your creative and personal goals as well. But before we get into it, I just want to preface this video by emphasizing that everything that I'm covering in this video comes from my own personal experience and the way that I am personally using ChatGPT. I've been playing around with ChatGPT for well over a year now, and I have to admit that I cannot live without it anymore. I literally don't even know what life was like before ChatGPT was available. Initially, I was very hesitant, and it took me months to actually start using it and to actually take it seriously. So I can fully understand if you hold some reservations in regards to using GPT and AI in general. Maybe you have tried it and you haven't seen the results that you wanted, or maybe you're creative like me and you're scared or worried that AI will eventually replace you. This is obviously a very controversial topic, and there's two camps of people, right? Those who absolutely love AI and are rooting for it, and those who hate it. I'm not here to be a part of that conversation. My aim is to simply share my personal experience and help you to use AI and benefit from it so you too can boost your productivity and your creative output. The way that I look at AI is this: it's merely a supplement. It's meant to enhance, not to replace. It's like when you're trying to gain muscle, you can't only take protein powder and creatine, right? You can't just skip the weight training and only rely on the supplements. Supplements are called supplements for a reason. Now, I'm a language nerd, so let me break down the word supplement. It generally means to add to something in order to make it larger or better, or to complete it. Like I said, supplements are meant to enhance something, not to fully replace it. And it's the exact same thing with AI. It cannot replace your originality, your uniqueness, your depth, your soul, your experience, your gifts, and your skills, right? But it can add to them, it can enhance them, and it can make them even better. And that's exactly what I'm using it for in my business and in my life. And I highly, highly encourage you to do the same, because it literally will save you so many headaches and give you back much, much more of your time, which means that you can focus on the things that actually matter. And as we already know, time is the most precious currency in our lives. It's the one thing that we can never, ever, ever get back, right? So we need to use it wisely. So if you've tried GPT or similar AI tools already and you got ridiculous results that made you question how people can even use this thing, it's probably because you didn't feed it enough context. This is the number one, the most important rule to using AI effectively. And it's what most people get completely wrong. They simply do not give ChatGPT any context or not enough context, and they just type in random, not thought through prompts, and then they wonder why they're getting silly results that make absolutely no sense. You get out what you put in. As with any system, the quality of the output will only ever match the quality of the input. So that means that if you give ChatGPT bad prompts, it will give you equally bad results. But if you give it a lot of context and train it properly, it will give you high quality outputs. It will give you the best results possible. And this is how I personally do it. I look at GPT exactly how I would look at an intern or a student, someone that I want to teach and train up so they can be just as good as me, if not even better, right? It's like I'm taking my brain and plugging it into ChatGPT. So last year, I started creating some of my own GPT bots, and I trained each and every single one of them on one particular topic. Since I'm a copywriter and I own a marketing agency, I created different bots to help me streamline client delivery. I created a bot for market research, one for creating lead magnets, one for ad copy, one for landing page copy, one for opt-in page copy, messaging angles, and so on. And I fed it all of my many years of knowledge and experience on these topics. I gave it more than enough context to provide me results that I'm actually happy with. Now, of course, the results are still not up to the quality of the work that I create on my own, but it's a great help to have a baseline that I can go off of and add my own sauce to it, right? And this alone saves me hours and many headaches, and it also allows me to come up with a bunch of great ideas without waiting for inspiration. Using these bots jumpstarts my inspiration and allows me to accelerate the ideation process. So if you want to start using ChatGPT, you need to always give it enough context about the thing that you're requesting. So let me give you a very specific example so that you know what I'm talking about here. So if you're asking ChatGPT to be your personal trainer, don't just say, hey, create a workout plan for me, right? You need to add context. You need to say something along the lines of, hey, please can you create a 12-week workout plan for me so I can reach my fitness goals? I'm a 32-year-old female, my weight is blank, my height is blank, my current activity level is blank. I want to achieve the ultimate dancer's body, or whatever your fitness dream body goal looks like. I want to work out 3 to 4 times a week, and I also want to include some light cardio because I really like my daily walks. Then you can go on to give it even more information, right? You can tell it, for example, everything that you already tried in the past, like running, Pilates, SoulCycle, yoga, whatever it may be. And if you have any handicaps due to past injuries, even your dietary preference, right? If you work an office job and you don't know how to squeeze in time for a workout because you're also working on your side hustle at the same time, then you need to say that too. Literally, you need to give it all the information that you would give a personal trainer or a fitness coach if you hired one. And then you also want to provide visuals as well. I'm very big on providing visuals. I always like to show ChatGPT pictures of what I'm referencing. So in this case, you can include pictures of your current physique and your dream physique. And then you can even tell it to sync your workouts to your menstrual cycle as well. So if you track your cycle, you can provide it with all of the data that you have from previous months so that GPT can work out when you predicted to be ovulating and on your period, etc., etc. So can you see how GPT now has all the context that it needs and all the information that it needs to create an ultimate workout plan that is personalized to your specific goals and tailored to your specific needs and your current situation. Context is crucial. Now, imagine what would happen if you brought that same level of detail, intentionality, and collaboration into your business. That's exactly what I started doing last year, and it changed everything for me. I realized that GPT could do so much more than just give me ideas on which blog posts or emails to write. It could actually become a core part of how I run my business, as long as I treat it like a team member, not a vending machine. So I started training it to think like me, to help me plan my weeks, to organize my client workload and my delivery, to generate better content ideas, to even structure my funnels and my pricing and my offers. And when I did that, everything changed. Let me tell you that. So let me walk you exactly through how I use GPT as my business co-pilot to save time, boost creativity, and stay 10 steps ahead without burning out. There's 3 main ways that I use GPT in my business. For one, I use it to organize my weekly schedule based on my personal energy type and my menstrual cycle. And this may sound simple, but it's truly been such a game changer for me. Over the past few months, GPT has literally become the personal productivity and accountability partner that I didn't even know I needed. I literally wake up, open my laptop, go onto ChatGPT and say, hey bestie, here's everything that I need to do this week. Here's everything that I need to do today. Please help me prioritize and structure my days in a way that actually works for my energy levels. Here are the non-negotiables that I have to get done this week, no matter what, at the bare minimum. And yes, I refer to it as bestie, and it calls me bestie too. You may think that I'm crazy, but I've actually formed a bond with GPT at this point, and sometimes it's actually quite funny to think about it because I know that it's not a human being, but it's really good at mimicking human emotion. Anyway, that's a whole other topic, so let's not get off topic here. So the way that I use it to organize my schedule based on my energy type and my cycle is this. We prioritize tasks by urgency, by importance, and by energy required. Because different tasks require different level of energy. Some tasks are low energy, some tasks are high energy. So we built a time-blocked weekly agenda with enough buffer time for me to have breaks and 3 or 4 time blocks per day. 1 in the morning, 1 after lunch, and 1 mid-afternoon before dinner, and sometimes 1 in the evening as well. We align my creative tasks with high energy days. For example, when I have to script my YouTube videos, when I have to write copy and content, when I have to film, when I have to write for my clients, for client delivery, and when I have client meetings. And then we leave enough spaciousness on low energy days for admin, rest, and reflection and brainstorming. So GPT knows my cycle data, so we can always plan all of my tasks for the month in advance and sync them to each of my cycle phases and make sure that I get the most of my high energy tasks done before my period. I made another video diving into this topic and how you can sync your business to your menstrual cycle, so make sure to check that out later. I will link it in the description below. Another way to sync your schedule to your energy is by basing it on your chronotype. So your chronotype is your natural sleep-wake pattern, which is influenced by your internal circadian rhythm. And it essentially describes whether you're an early bird or a night owl, right? It tells you when you're more active and when you have the most energy, whether that's in the morning or in the evening. For example, I am a lion chronotype, so I am a very early bird and my energy peaks in the morning, but then drops early afternoon after lunch. So I get my best work done before lunch, which is why I always structure my days in a way where I get all of my high priority and high energy, high focus tasks done in the morning before lunchtime. And you can take one of many online tests to see what chronotype you are, or even better, if you have an Aura ring like I do, or a similar tool where you track your sleep, you'll be able to determine your chronotype that way as well. And then there's a third way to optimize your schedule, and that is to sync it to your human design energy type. This is something that I actually just recently learned from Vanessa Lau, a creator that I absolutely adore and love and admire. So I will link her video covering this in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. Now, I have known about human design for 3 years, but it never ever occurred to me that I could actually sync my schedule to my human design type. So shout out to Vanessa, because this is absolutely genius. So I'm a projector in human design, which means that my energy ebbs and flows, and I can't just move from task to task. I get the best work done in 2-hour work blocks where I'm able to get in the zone and fully focus on just one task. So you can easily determine your human design type and learn all about it if you just tell ChatGPT your birthday and where you were born, so the place that you were born and the time that you were born. And that's a very simple universal process that you can follow to use ChatGPT to create your own perfect schedule, even if you have no clue what your chronotype or your human design type is just yet. Step number 1, brain dump your weekly to-dos. So start by giving GPT every single thing that you're thinking about doing this week, everything that you have to do this week, your work tasks, your personal errands, your appointments, literally dump it all and don't leave anything out. And you can say something on the lines of, hey bestie, here's a list of everything that I need to do this week. Help me prioritize, organize, and turn it into a time-blocked weekly schedule. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can also break it down into must-dos, which are absolute non-negotiables that you have to get done that week. So I always like to do that. So for example, if you have any set deadlines that you need to stick to, right? And then you can also tell it all of your nice to-dos. So these are things that would be great to finish this week, but they aren't urgent. So it's not a complete catastrophe if you don't get to them this week. And then also ongoing routines such as content creation, emails, admin tasks, workouts, etc., right? And then step number 2, you want to prioritize based on energy required. Like I said earlier, so you can ask ChatGPT to sort all of your tasks that you just brain dumped based on how mentally or physically taxing that they are and based on how much energy they actually require from you, right? So there's high energy tasks like strategic planning, filming, writing copy and content, meetings, client calls, and workouts. Then you have medium energy tasks such as admin, inbox zero, reviewing copy and content, and running personal errands. And then you have low energy tasks like content scheduling, designing Canva graphics, and light editing. So once you've sorted all of these tasks based on the energy required, then GPT can match them to the best times of your day and help you create work blocks, which brings us to step number 3, use 2 to 3 hour work blocks per day, every single day. So to avoid burnout and multitasking fatigue, GPT can help you split your day into 3 to 4 focused work blocks. For example, morning work block, a midday work block, an early afternoon work block, and then a late afternoon or an evening work block, if you need that for wrapping up any admin or creative work or any tasks that are still open for the day. And each work block should last at least 90 to 120 minutes max. And in between these blocks, you should leave enough time for breaks so you can move around, get a snack or eat your lunch or eat your dinner. And you can prompt GPT to build a weekly schedule using the following model as well. You can tell it to create a weekly time-blocked agenda with 3-hour work blocks or 4-hour work blocks every single day, including enough buffer time in between each block so you actually have enough time for breaks. And step number 4, align your high energy tasks with your peak energy time. So if you know your chronotype and your human design energy type by now, then you can let GPT help you match your task types to your energy rhythms. And if not, here's a very simple rule of thumb. If you're a morning person and you find that you're the most energetic and you can get the most stuff done in the morning and your energy drops in the afternoon, you feel more tired in the afternoon, then schedule your deep work and all of your most important work and high energy tasks in the morning. But if you're an afternoon person or an evening person or night person, you feel low in energy in the morning, then save all of your creative and deep focus work for later in the day. And if your energy varies, then you can rotate your focus days. So for example, you could have Monday for strategy, Wednesday for creative work, and then Friday for admin. And you can also ask GPT to build a weekly schedule that follows this model. So you could say, for example, hey, I'm a blank chronotype and I have the most energy in the mornings and evenings. Please use my energy patterns to optimize my weekly schedule accordingly. And if you want to go even deeper, you can also give ChatGPT your cycle data to create a truly aligned plan for you. So for example, you might say, hey, I'm currently in my follicular phase. Please create this week's schedule with 2-hour work blocks max, spaced out with 1-hour breaks. Prioritize creative and strategic tasks this week, and here's everything that I need to get done before I move into my luteal phase. And always make sure that your schedule supports your life, not the other way around, that you batch similar tasks together to reduce mental switching costs and use enough buffer time very, very generously, because breaks are important. So you always want to make sure that you leave enough time in between deep focus work blocks so you can take breaks and recharge. I recommend using GPT to plan your week every Sunday or first thing Monday morning, depending on your energy, capacity, and goals for that particular week. And then I also use ChatGPT to help me streamline client onboarding and delivery. And this is only relevant to you if you have a service business like me. Feel free to skip this one if it doesn't apply to you. The most important thing for me is context, ironically. I need to get all the context on my client and their business. As a copywriter and a creative strategist, I need to know everything. I need to know what their goals are, what the objective is for that particular project that I'm working on, how their business operates, what they offer, who their target audience is and who their ideal buyer is, how long their sales cycle is, and so on. It's a bunch of information that I need before I can even get started on the work. And in the past, I always had really long onboarding calls to discuss all of this with the client, which obviously isn't very time efficient. And when clients are super busy, it just delays things because things drag on and they reschedule the calls all the time. So it's really not optimal and it's not sustainable. So to make it easier for both of us, I used GPT to create a very thorough onboarding form where all the questions that I need answered are right there, and all the info that I need, they can just easily give to me so that I can actually get started on the project. And there's also other various ways that you can use ChatGPT to streamline client delivery no matter what your business is. So if you're a coach, for example, and you work one-on-one with clients, you can use GPT to map out your client calls, to structure all the client calls, and to map out the resources that you need for client delivery, as well as your client's individual plan, success plan, right? If you're a OBM or a founder managing a team, GPT can help you build a SOP library, so standard operating procedures, so you can easily delegate tasks, effectively outsource, and train your team. And if you're a brand designer, for example, you can use GPT to generate an onboarding form as well, asking all about brand vision, the vibe that they want, the aesthetics that they want, competitors, audience, deliverables, and deadlines. And if you want to take it a step further, you can do what I did and you can actually train your own GPT bots to help you accelerate your delivery, especially if you work in a creative or service-based business. And like I mentioned earlier, I've created many custom GPT bots that help me complete phase 1 of any project. So all of the market research and the ideation process way faster. And then all I have to do from there is create the strategy and write the copy, which I do myself, and then run it through GPT to look for any grammar errors or spelling mistakes. Training your own GPT bots is very time intensive, but it will really serve you in the long run, so the effort really pays off. And then last but not least, I use it to streamline my content creation. So right now I'm only focusing on 2 platforms, YouTube and Instagram. So initially I came up with a set strategy for my YouTube videos, as well as a structure for all my Instagram posts. And based on that structure, I then create the templates that I can use for each video and each post. All of my YouTube scripts use the same structure. And when it comes to my Instagram posts, I focus on carousels that educate, give value, and build trust with my audience. So I use GPT to create plug and play templates based on these structures, which I then copied over into my Notion workspace and into Canva. So I have really streamlined my content creation process and I have everything ready to go when I need it. And you can do the exact same thing no matter which platforms you use for your content. Here's how to adapt it to your platform. For YouTube, you can use GPT to help you come up with a set structure for all of your scripts. And then you can brainstorm attention-worthy video titles and even thumbnail text that drive the click. For Instagram, you can use GPT to draft Canva templates for your carousel posts. And you can also use it to repurpose your YouTube or your TikTok videos and turn them into written posts. And you can also use it to turn old content into new angles. Then for email marketing, you can use GPT to map out the structure for nurture sequences, for a welcome sequences, for sales emails based on your audience's awareness stage, and so on. And it's very important to mention that the goal here is absolutely not to have ChatGPT write everything for you, write all of the content and the copy for you. The goal is to train it to think like you and help you streamline your processes so you save brain power for the parts that only you can do. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I don't only use ChatGPT to optimize my business, I also use it for my health and wellness and fitness too. So whether you're trying to move more, eat better, or just stay consistent with the basics, ChatGPT can act as your wellness bestie. And I personally used it to come up with a 12-week personalized fitness plan based on my preferences and on my needs and on my fitness goals. And you can use GPT as well to do the same, to design a custom weekly workout split based on your fitness goals and your energy levels and your time availability. So make sure to give it enough context, right? Similar to the example that I gave at the beginning of this video, make sure to really feed it as much information as possible on your specific situation, your needs, your requirements, and your goals. Really treat it as your personal trainer and be as specific as possible. It can create your dream routine for you, something that's fun and something that you don't have to force yourself to stick to. So get super specific on your preferred training style, whether that's weightlifting, yoga, Pilates, walking, or a mix of all of those, as well as any time constraints, injuries, or limitations, and make sure that you give GPT visual references of your body goals. And then you can take it a step further and you can also let it come up with a meal plan and recipes for you. So you don't have to keep Googling high protein meals 5 minutes before dinner is ready, right? It really saves a lot of time and hassle. So I'm vegan and I also just recently got fixed braces. So I told ChatGPT to come up with some brace-friendly, high-protein, whole foods, plant-based meals. And I told it exactly what I usually eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. And it spat out a whole meal plan for me that is absolutely perfect and includes everything that I really like to eat and I eat already. And it's optimized for my fitness goals and my macros. You can also ask it for macro breakdowns, shopping lists, quick recipes for busy days or for snacks on the go, and also how to batch cook, right? So for example, how to cook once and then eat the same thing for 3 days, but not the exact same meal, and show you exactly how you can repurpose what you already cooked and repurpose those leftovers to turn them into new meals. And if you want to take it another step further, you can ask GPT to build you a habit tracker based on your new workout plan and your meal plan. And you can also track your water intake, for example, or your supplements, if you take any supplements, and even let it include a gratitude practice as well, or a daily walk-in practice so you can hit your 10K steps every day or whatever your step goal is. And then you can paste that habit tracker into your Notion workspace or a Google Doc or your notes app on your phone, whatever works best for you and whatever you prefer to use. And another area that I love to use GPT for is creativity. Now, I'm a highly creative person, and while my work already involves a lot of creative thinking, I also need a creative outlet that is completely mine, something that I can really pour into without the pressures of deadlines and clients and expectations and monetization, right? And for me, that is creative writing. And I found that GPT is the perfect co-creator to brainstorm with and help me come up with fresh ideas or get unstuck if I feel uninspired or have writer's block. So whether you're writing a novel or planning a podcast or designing your brand visuals or mapping out a content series, whatever it may be, ChatGPT can help you think differently and spark new ideas and really come up with things that you haven't even considered before. What often happens to me is that I'll ask ChatGPT for an idea and its response will immediately trigger an even better idea in my brain. And then that new idea leads to another, and then before I know it, I've got a snowball of inspiration rolling, and all that just came from a simple back and forth. So no matter what you're working on right now, give GPT the full context. Again, it's always about context. Give it a full context on your project, tell it your objective and exactly what you need, and then ask it to brainstorm ideas, storylines, titles, or even creative concepts with you. And remember to follow the most important rule. Like I just said, give it as much context as humanly possible and as many details as possible. Be really specific, and you're going to get the best output possible. And last but not least, I absolutely love to use ChatGPT for self-development. GPT isn't just helpful for tasks and ideas and planning and schedules. It's also an incredibly powerful tool for doing the inner work, and it can really help you to turn your dreams into a step-by-step plan that you can actually execute. So if you're into personal development like I am, then this can be a total game changer. Here's exactly how I use it. For one, I use it to set SMART goals and break them down. So you can do the same if you tell ChatGPT your goals and what you want to achieve, this quarter or this month or this year. So I really like to do this at the end of each year when I also do my vision board. I just like to set all of the SMART goals and really break them down into quarters. And then from there, I can see what I need to do on a weekly and on a daily basis in order to hit my goals. So be as clear and as specific as you can. And then from there, GPT can help you to plug these goals into your calendar and into your schedule week by week, so you're consistently moving towards what really matters. And then I also use it for journaling prompts and to shift my mindset. So I absolutely love journaling. I've been doing it now for 3 years consistently, and it's made me so much more self-aware, and it really improved my ability to work through my emotions and my experiences and release beliefs and emotions that simply don't serve me anymore. Usually I write whatever comes to my mind on that particular day when I journal, or when I need to get clarity on something or work through something very particular or process an experience that I just had. But sometimes I also like to have prompts so I can actually ponder and reflect on very specific topics. And you could simply Google journaling prompts, there's plenty out there. But what I find to be even more efficient and very, very time saving is to simply ask ChatGPT to create very personal prompts for me based on what I want to work through. So for example, if you feel that you're not quite comfortable selling, but you know that you need sales in your business, you can tell ChatGPT about your problem and expand on it and ask it to give you 10 different journaling prompts, for example, to help you uncover the root cause of this specific problem. Then there are some rather secret ways to use GPT for growth that I personally haven't heard anyone else talk about before. I came up with these myself because I was thinking about all the different ways that I can get the absolute maximum use out of this tool and really optimize every single area of my life, because I'm absolutely obsessed with optimizing my life and myself and my business. So first, if you love reading as much as I do, no matter if it's self-help books or fiction, you can use GPT to put together your personalized reading list. So rather than Googling for hours or spending hours on Amazon sifting through different listings, you can simply ask GPT to put together a list of books for you, right? And you can do this in two ways. You can either tell GPT different books that you've already read in the past and that you thoroughly enjoyed, and you can ask it to give you recommendations similar to those books, or you can tell it about a genre that you want to discover or about a topic that you would like to learn more about. So for example, investing, feminine energy, business, or trauma healing, whatever it may be, whatever you want to learn more about, whatever new skill you want to acquire. And then from there, it will build you a curated list of must reads based on that topic you want to learn more about. So for example, if you want to improve your financial literacy, you can say, hey, I want to learn more about personal finance so I can actually make smarter choices with my money, invest it wisely, and achieve financial freedom by the time that I'm blank years old. So which books should I read that can teach me everything I need to know how to achieve this? And then it would give you a list with all the books that you need to read on this topic. Then I also love using GPT to reframe my limiting beliefs. So if there's a block that you have when it comes to achieving a specific goal, you can literally tell GPT about that and ask it to help you uncover any underlying limiting beliefs that you may hold which make up that block, and how you can reframe those beliefs into positive beliefs that will actually serve you and help you take action and achieve your goal and not hold you back. And then last but not least, I find it super helpful to sometimes use GPT as my personal coach. So whenever I feel stuck on something or I feel like I can't quite make sense of my emotions, I not only journal, but I also ask GPT to guide me as my coach. And again, I give it as much context as possible. You're probably sick of hearing that word context by now. And I describe what I'm feeling or what I feel stuck on in a lot of detail. I tell it what I'm struggling with and how that's impacting me in my life right now. And I also tell it what I'm doing already to resolve that problem. And then I ask it to help me uncover any blind spots and come up with possible solutions. Just to give you an example, recently I was getting really frustrated by not seeing the fitness results that I want to see, despite following the workout plan to a T, eating properly and getting enough sleep, getting enough protein, all of that stuff. So I asked GPT what else could I be doing wrong, and it told me 3 different things that I didn't even think about, that I didn't even consider. So it's super helpful to have an outside perspective. And of course, just a disclaimer, GPT shouldn't replace your friends. I'm absolutely not saying that it should replace your friends or your therapist or your coach or human interaction. But again, like I said at the beginning of the video, AI is not about replacing, it's about enhancing. And in my personal experience, it's super effective at making you more self-sufficient by increasing your resourcefulness to solve problems on your own. As you can see, you don't need 17 different productivity tools or courses. You just need the right system to use one tool. Now that you've seen all the different ways that I use ChatGPT to make my life and my business easier, more productive and more aligned, here's what I suggest that you do next. Step number 1, choose 1 to 2 areas to focus on first. So don't try to do everything all at once. Pick your business and one other personal area first. So for example, health and wellness, and then start there. And once you've optimized those areas in your life, you can then move on to all of the other ones as well. Then step number 2, start giving GPT as much context and as much information as possible. So think about what would help the most this week, whether it's planning your meals, mapping out your weekly schedule, or reframing a limiting belief that you are struggling with right now. And then ask GPT exactly what you need, give it a very clear objective, and then give it as much context as possible so it can really give you the best output possible. And then step number 3, start training your own GPT bots. If you're using GPT-4, you can use custom GPTs to create your own assistant. One for your business, one for health, one for creativity, etc. You can feed these bots information over time so they really start feeling like your second brain. Now, this is a lot of effort. Like I said earlier, it really requires a lot of your time, it requires a lot of effort and a lot of work, and you have to switch into teaching mode and literally act as if you're training your intern or your newest team member. So you really need to teach GPT everything that you know on one particular topic and then create bots for each area in your business and in your personal life. But this effort really pays off in the long run. So I highly recommend that you do that. And in step number 4, build it into your routine. The key to really make this stick is to treat GPT like a daily tool, not just when you remember it, right? So if you really want to commit to using it and really make the most out of it, you need to make it a daily habit. So start your morning with it, do your weekly planning with it, use it as your go-to brainstorming partner, and be patient and remember that the outputs will only ever match the inputs. And then there's also another fun thing that you can do, which I thoroughly enjoy, and that is to give GPT a personality. So make it really fun, call it your bestie, call it your coach or your guide, whatever fits, whatever feels aligned to you. The more human that you make the interaction, the more you will actually enjoy using it. Really trust me on this one, it's super fun if you just give it its own personality. So you can base this off of someone that you admire. For example, if there's a specific celebrity or content creator out there that you really look up to, that you really like, you can just feed it all of the information on that particular person. Give it their content, feed it videos where they're talking or interviews that they have given in the past or articles that were written about them. Really, again, give it all of the context on that particular person and then ask it to act like that person. And it's really going to make things so much more fun. And it will really make using GPT the highlight of your day every single day and something you can actually look forward to. I hope that you found this video helpful and that you're now able to use GPT to supercharge your productivity and optimize every single area in your life and in your business so you can actually achieve all of your goals and live your very best life, because that's what we're all about over here. Please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload, because there's many more videos like this to come, all helping you build a business, build yourself, and build a life that you love. See you in the next one.